Hiya! Welcome to episode 4 of Johnny Talks. The title of this video is Us versus Them. There is a war coming. This war will not be against religion or nations. This war is going to be very unique, the likes of which you've never seen or experienced before. There is a lot of people. Hello Hamino Games. Hello to you, Mr. Hamino Games. Welcome to episode 4 of Johnny Talks. I'm talking about a war between us versus them. There is a lot of people in this world who do not believe in a God, but the irony is they want to be God, and they lay out their agendas on a stone tablet like the 10 commandments. Sorry, I cannot talk half the time. My apologies. Thanks, but don't call me Mister because I'm a kid. No problem. Okay, Junior. I'm just going to call you Junior then. Sorry about that. So, where was I? There is a war coming. Us versus them. There are a lot of people in this world who do not believe in God, but they want to be God. No problem. And they lay out their agendas on a stone tablet like the 10 commandments. And anybody who doesn't go along agendas is called a non-believer and an outsider. So there's going to be a war between the people who are orchestrating these agendas and people who are going along with these agendas, and the people who are 100% opposed to these agendas and who fight against these agendas. Sorry, I'm still getting used to Johnny Talks, so you're going to have to bear with me. We've got to understand by now, everyone, that this world is not governed by any governments. It is not the government that makes the decisions. You've got to understand that by now. You have got to understand that by now. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is a fact. The world is, for lack of a better word, controlled by a small minority of very powerful, very rich, and quite simply sadistic individuals. And these people control everything. They control the banks, they control governments, they control wars, they even control the entertainment industry. And these people have their agendas. Because see, it's very important to point out these people have a view. These people want to control the world with their blueprint. They have a view for the world. And in order for these people to achieve this, then they have agendas. Fight. And again, the irony here is a lot of these people do not believe in a God, but they want to be God. So they lay out these agendas on this stone tablet, and the rest of the world is supposed to obey, go along with these agendas. And anybody who speaks out against these agendas, fights against these agendas, is considered a non-believer or an outsider. And eventually, very soon, very soon, the people who are considered outsiders and non-believers because they do not want to go along with these agendas and because they disagree with these agendas, well, these people will rise up. And there will be a war between these people and the minority of powerful and rich and sadistic people who push the agendas, and that war will be us versus them. So I don't want to be so negative and morbid and deep and depressing, avoiding anybody here, but I'm just saying it as it is. Just take a look around in the world you live in. Now, I mentioned this in the previous episode of Johnny Talks when I was talking about equality and the lack thereof. But just think about this. Imagine if you were a Trump supporter. Imagine the backlash you would get. You would probably get blocked by your friends on Facebook. And that is the lower end of the scale. You would probably have debated arguments with the closest people in your life, family and friends, who would be hugely offended by the fact that you are a Trump supporter. And yes, I am saying that Donald Trump being president and the amount of hate and disapproval that has received is an agenda. I am saying that. I am saying that live on YouTube on Johnny Talks. This is an agenda. Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America, and the minority of people who control the world simply do not like the fact that Donald Trump is president of America. And this is where all the hate is coming from. But they are people who support Donald Trump. They are people who publicly support Donald Trump, and they are people who are afraid to support Donald Trump. But Donald Trump has support. No, I'm not saying I support Donald Trump. I'm not saying I don't support Donald Trump. I'm saying I'm an Irish man living in Ireland, and I'm more concerned about Leo Varadkar, or whatever the fuck his name is. I am more concerned about him, because he is the leader of Ireland. Donald Trump does not affect me. I'm just using Donald Trump as an example. If you, I said this in the previous episode of Johnny Talks, but if you are in a room of like 10-15 people and you openly say you are a Donald Trump supporter, you will receive a lot of backlash. So already you can see this us versus them mentality. And again, I truly believe that the fact that Donald Trump has become president of the United States of America, and the amount of hatred and backlash this man has received and allegations made towards him is all part of an agenda. Now, this agenda, again, is orchestrated by this minority of people who control the world's government, politics, wars, etc. Now, a lot of people will have a lot of opinions about what that agenda is. Maybe Donald Trump is saying what this minority of people don't want you to hear, don't want you to agree with. Maybe that's what it is. I don't want this video to be primarily focused on Donald Trump, but there is a war coming, and it's not a war against nations and religion. It is a war against us versus them. The handful, the minority of powerful and rich and sadistic people who control the world's government, money, politics, wars, entertainment, and to control all of that through certain agendas. A politician, a very high-ranking politician like a president or a Taoiseach, will introduce a particular law or a particular motion to suit these people's agendas. A particular war will begin to suit these people's agendas. A pop star will sing a particular song and say a particular lyric to suit these people's agenda. And again, it's 2018, people. It's 2018. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is fact. There is no conspiracy theory anymore. This isn't theory. This is fact. Fight. Now, these people have a lot of names. Pop culture would call this group the Illuminati. Oh, that's very popular among kids these days, isn't it? The Illuminati. Ooh. But the most symbolic symbols, I've just said symbol twice essentially there, but one of the biggest symbols attached to the Illuminati, the reason I say the Illuminati like that is because it's just a pop, you know, culture, trendy name to describe these people, to almost make these people cool. The people who are controlling your world, the people who are controlling your government, your politics, your health system, the wars that are created around the world. You know, oh, they're so cool, the Illuminati. Oh, let's make funny little memes on YouTube about the Illuminati. There's nothing funny about these people. Let me assure you. But whatever you want to call them, the elite, the establishment, whatever you want to call them, one of their biggest symbols is the all-seeing eye, right? Everyone knows about the all-seeing eye, right? Okay, can I ask you all who are watching this video, why is it that so many people in the entertainment industry, whenever they get a photograph taken, like to cover either the left eye or right eye? Oh, because it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool thing. Really? Really? That sounds crazy to me. That sounds crazy. That response sounds crazy. I mean, there's so many people within the entertainment industry, whenever they get a photograph taken, are covering the left eye and the right eye. Why is that? Why is that? I mean, I can't give a definitive answer to why, but I think it's very, very strange nonetheless that the name that we associate these group of people with, the Illuminati. It's amazing that one of their biggest symbols is covering their left eye and right eye, and the people in the entertainment industry are doing this. You got to ask yourself a question: why are people doing that? But to bring the video back to its title, Us versus Them, more and more people are waking up and seeing things for what they are and speaking out against those things. Not everybody is in favour of gay marriage. Boom, I just said it. This isn't my personal beliefs here, and I'm just saying not everybody is in favour of gay marriage. There are a lot of people out there who are practicing Catholics, Protestants, born-again Christians. There are a lot of people of faith out there, and their religion is everything to them. Their religious beliefs are everything to them, and they are opposed to gay marriage because their view of marriage is a sacred bond between man and woman. There are a lot of people out there who are against gay marriage, but they can't really have their voice heard because the LGBT community, Q, whatever, is going to 100% attack those people and call them homophobic and discriminative, and those people's voices will be muted. There are a lot of people out there who are not in favour of abortion. They're completely against abortion. But again, the feminists will shut these people up and say your view doesn't count. It's our view or no view. And there are a lot of people out there who support Donald Trump. But of course those people are not only muted, but they're pretty much attacked, physically, mentally attacked for having a religious opinion. And again, to go back to the previous episode of Johnny Talks, where is the equality there? It's their view or no view. There is no equality. You can no longer have something that matters to you. If you are a man or a woman of faith, and your religious faith is everything to you, and you are against gay marriage because you believe that marriage is a sacred bond between man and woman. If you have that belief, you cannot share that belief because it's their view against yours. It's us versus them. The LGBTQ community will completely take you down for having that opinion about gay marriage. Where is the equality? It's us versus them. If you are pro-life and you value the life of an unborn child and you are completely against abortion, then the feminists will completely destroy you, attack you and shut you up because it's their view against your view. Their view or no view, us versus them. If you voted for Donald Trump or are a supporter of Donald Trump, and you say, I support Donald Trump, the crazy and mental left wing, I'm not up there with politics, I don't know if it's left wing or right wing, but the people anyway, the Trump haters, will be completely against you, and you can no longer have that political view and share that political view because it's their view or no view, us versus them. But they are Trump supporters, and there are pro-life supporters, and they are people who are against gay marriage. No, you're going to get people who are against homosexuals, but that's a completely different level. I mean, everybody should be able to love who they want, but there is people who just believe that marriage in particular is just a bond between man and woman. That's not my views. I should make that clear at the start of every Johnny Talks. I should make that perfectly clear, because I'm not really here really to give my personal views. I'm just here to, I will give my personal views on a few things, but this is me just talking about things in general. So there are a lot of people out there who go against these agendas, and I am going to say it, there is an agenda. I already pointed out when it comes to Donald Trump being president of the United States of America and the amount of hate that he has received and his supporters have received, I believe that is part of an agenda orchestrated by this minority full, rich and sadistic people. Call them what you want, call them the elite, the Illuminati, the establishment, whatever. I believe that these people have an agenda, and well, Donald Trump is not part of that agenda. He is against that agenda, and I think that, you know, the people who are orchestrating this agenda and the people who support this agenda are 100% against Donald Trump, because I don't think Donald Trump stands for that agenda. I think Donald Trump is saying and doing things that are against the views of this minority of people, and goes against this agenda. And I believe that is why he has received the level of hate that he has received. Okay? So that's an example of one agenda. I don't know what the exact agenda is. I'm not fucking David Icke. I'm certainly not Alex fucking Jones. I'm me. I'm Johnny from Johnny Talks. But I just feel like this minority of people have this particular agenda for the world. They've got many agendas for the world, right? But I just believe that whatever this agenda is that this minority of powerful and rich sadistic people have for the world, I firmly believe that Donald Trump is against that agenda. And his supporters are against that agenda. And I think the people who are orchestrating this agenda, the minority of powerful and rich sadistic people, are completely, like, obviously are opposed to Donald Trump as a result of that. So my words are getting all mixed up here now. But I believe that this group of people have an agenda. Donald Trump is against it. And obviously these people and the supporters of these people and the supporters of the agenda are obviously completely against Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is against the agenda. And the people who support Donald Trump are also against this agenda, and that's why they support Donald Trump. That's what I believe. I also believe that there is an agenda for global depopulation. Boom, I've just went deep, haven't I? I've just went deep into the rabbit hole. There's no going back now. But I honestly, if you look at the world around you, you see, it's important to point out that this minority of people, they're not idiots. Okay, they're far from it. They're not idiots. Okay, these are very intelligent people. They're not just rich and powerful and sadistic. They're intelligent. They're very intelligent people. If you look at the world around you in terms of depopulation, if you look at the world around you, you've got wars, you've got famines, you've got global warming, the world is destroying itself. It is absolutely destroying itself. And I firmly believe that people within this group said, look, we have to take action. We have to do something to depopulate the world. And I believe that abortion is part of that. Reducing the amount of pregnancies through abortion. Because abortion will provide the opportunity for a mother to abort their child, to prevent a life from entering the world, therefore less population in the world. So I believe that this handful of people, minority of the rich, powerful and sadistic, they want depopulation, and they got the feminists to push for abortion, and in Ireland at least abortion is now legal, therefore reducing the population of Ireland and therefore the world. I firmly believe that. But not everybody is in favour of abortion. There's a lot of pro-life supporters out there. And what was the other? Oh yeah. Gay marriage. Again, I want to point out, first of all, I am far from homophobic. I believe that everybody should be able to love, providing it's a mutual love between two people. I don't care who you are, what you are. Everyone has the right to love. However, there are people of faith, and I would even say people that outside of faith, they just look at marriage, and it is their belief that marriage is a bond between man and woman, and that's just the way they look at it, and they have every right to look at it that way. And they are against gay marriage. This day, even though it's legal in Ireland to have gay marriage, they are against it. And I couldn't possibly tell you why. I'm sure if you ask people like David Icke and Alex Jones, they'll happily have an opinion for you. I don't particularly know why. I know this. Look, I'll even admit this. It makes my point very invalid. But if you look at the world around you, okay, the LGBTQ community is like a brand. It's like Nike. It's like Nintendo. It's like Warner Bros. It's like Marvel. It's just this big massive brand, and no matter where you look, you see LGBTQ everywhere. It's almost like being gay or bisexual or lesbian or transgender. It's almost like it's a fashion trend now. It's almost like it's the cool thing to do. It's almost like if you're not gay, bisexual, transsexual, that you're not cool. It's almost like everyone has to try it now. Everyone, you have to be cool now. You have to do this. I almost feel like that's what the LGBTQ community is now, because it's no longer about fighting for the rights of these people, because they have rights now. They can get married, they can live together, they can work. I mean, they have all the rights that anybody else has, if not more. I don't know about more, but they have rights. So I don't think the LGBTQ community is about rights anymore. I think it's turned into this brand, and I don't know what the agenda is, but I do believe that this minority of people have some sort of an agenda to push these sexualities onto people. I don't know why. Maybe it's part of the... Maybe they just don't want... I don't know what it is, quite simply. I can't give a definitive answer as to why, but I definitely see the LGBT community as this brand. I mean, they are respected journalists on Irish radio who have all come out and said there is absolutely no need for the gay parade. It's over the top. You even have kids attending these parades, which is quite simply disturbing. There's absolutely no reason why a child needs to be anywhere near a gay parade. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. A child shouldn't have to think about their sexuality until they're at least 12. At least 12. And in fact, 12 is pushing it, to be quite honest with you. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever why a child has to be anywhere near a parade which celebrates somebody's sexuality. End of. And you don't need to look at a gay parade to see, like, you know, the way that half of these men are dressing, half of these women are dressing, and the kind of things they get up to in those parades. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever why a child has to be anywhere near a gay parade. You wouldn't take your child to a fucking strip club to a gay parade. End of. So to get back to my point, I do feel like this minority of powerful, rich and sadistic people, they have an agenda regarding the LGBT community. I think that community was orchestrated and created, and it's now this brand. It almost feels like your sexuality is no longer something you're born with. It's almost something you can choose now. You can choose which sexuality you want. It's like walking to a shop and saying, will I have a Mars bar today, or will I have a Snickers? Will I drink Club Orange today, or will I drink Dr. Pepper? I'm sorry, but science will tell you your sexuality is not a choice, or a preference for that matter. Your sexuality is something you are born with. In fact, this is how they started the campaign in the first place. We're gay, we're born gay, accept us. Now it's almost like they're saying, well, if you want to be gay, you can be gay, and if you want to be transsexual, you can be transsexual. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. So to me, the LGBT community is nothing more than a brand, pop culture brand, that, you know, it's almost like a fashion trend, the cool phase that, you know, you've got to be gay now to be cool, which is quite simply disturbing, to be quite honest with you. And I think it's part of one of the agendas that these minority of people are pushing. But there are a lot of people. Look, there's a lot of people who are against the LGBT community for all sorts. You've got homophobics, you've got just Nazis, you've got people like that, and I mean, that's a whole different kettle of fish. But they are respectful, you know, people within the community who just value, you know, marriage, and they feel like marriage is between a man and a woman. And there's a lot of people out there who will be against gay marriage. So what have we here? We've got people who are in favour of Donald Trump, we've got people who are against abortion, and we've got people who are against gay marriage. There's a lot of people out there, and I firmly believe that the world will get to a stage where it will be us versus them. It will be these handful of very rich, powerful and sadistic people who don't believe in a God but want to be God, and who lay out their agendas like commandments on a stone tablet. Agendas like be against Donald Trump, agendas like support abortion, agendas like support gay marriage, because their agenda, in my opinion, for Donald Trump is they don't want somebody like Donald Trump to say it as it is. An agenda like abortion, because I firmly believe that they want to depopulise the world. And an agenda like gay marriage, because maybe they want to turn sexuality into a brand for whatever reason. So they'll have all these agendas, and anybody who goes against these agendas, speaks out against these agendas, completely disagrees with these agendas, fights these agendas, will be considered as an outsider, as a non-believer. So all of the people who are in favour of these agendas, who support these agendas, who orchestrate these agendas, will pretty much go after the people who don't. The non-believers, the outsiders, and there will be an us versus them. So you'll have Trump supporters versus Trump haters. You'll have pro-choice, and you already have this happening right now, pro-choice versus pro-life, and the LGBT community against people of faith and people who value their view of marriage. But the most dangerous part of all, and it's happening right now, it's pretty much their view or no view. We're no longer living in a world where you can have your opinion. It's pretty much the mainstream opinion. You got to have the mainstream opinion now, because if you go against that mainstream opinion, you're going to be branded as hate speech. You're going to be branded as a racist. You're going to be branded as sexist. You're branded as a homophobic. I don't believe anything I've said in this video has been homophobic or anything like that. I mean, I literally have not done that. So, you know, when you think of a war, you think of World War I, World War II, where you had nations fighting against nations, religious wars as well. This war that I firmly believe is coming is not going to be about that. You're not going to have nation versus nation. You're not going to have religion versus religion. It's not going to be North Korea nuking America. It's going to be us versus them. This minority of rich and powerful sadistic people are outlining their agendas on a daily basis, and they are presenting their agendas to the world, and everybody is expected to follow these agendas like commandments on a stone. I mean, the irony here is these people don't believe in a God, but they want to be God when they're laying out these agendas and expecting the world to follow their agendas like commandments on a stone. Anybody who doesn't go along with these agendas, fights these agendas, speaks out against these agendas, will be branded as a non-believer, an outsider. And again, as I said, some of these agendas that this minority of people are presenting to the world is one of them would be depopulation through abortion. I'm not afraid to say that anymore. It explains why, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much, but I believe that depopulation is one of their agendas, and I believe they use abortion as a way of achieving that agenda. I believe they want to turn a sexuality into a fashion trend, into a phase, into the cool thing to do, into a brand, and they do that with the LGBT community. And I've admitted I don't exactly know why. With Donald Trump, I think the agenda is... I believe that these people have a particular type of agenda and different types of agendas. And I believe Donald Trump is 100% against those agendas. And I believe that, you know, the amount of hate that he receives is orchestrated by these people and the people who support the agendas. But what will happen is there's the other side. There's the agenda, the people who support the agendas, the people who alter the agendas, and the people who are against them. The pro-life supporters will stand up. The Trump supporters will stand up. People who have values with marriage will stand up and fight the minority. They will cut down this treehouse that this minority live in, to hide away inside the little treehouse. A minority of people hiding away in a treehouse. But the majority will rise up and cut down this treehouse. And the war will begin. Do I sound crazy? I probably do sound crazy, but what sounds more crazy? Burying our head in the sand. Burying your head in the sand with real life events to watch the X Factor, or actually looking at the world around you, seeing things for what they are and speaking out against them. What is more crazy? You tell me. So I've said a lot of controversial things in this video, and I don't regret saying any of them, because I firmly believe that I have said nothing truly offensive. The reality, I mean, the two most offensive things I've said really were, well, that's actually not offensive. Things that people may see as offensive would be the fact that there are people out there who view marriage as a sacred bond between man and woman. That is a fact. There are people out there who firmly believe that. That's not offensive. Trust me, there are a lot more people on YouTube who will say a lot more offensive things than that about, you know, gay people and people who get married. Gay people who get married. All I said was there are people out there in the world who believe that marriage is a sacred bond between man and woman. A lot of people out there who believe that, so that's not offensive. I suppose the more controversial thing, one of the most controversial things I've said in this video so far. ProChronicsVlogz, hello to you, buddy. Great to see you transitioning from Green Herb Gaming to ProChronicsVlogz. Hi bro, left a like on all the vids. Really appreciate that, man. I'll do a mini recap for you, buddy. This is episode 4 of Johnny Talks. The title of the video is Us versus Them. I believe there's a war coming, buddy, and it's not going to be a war against countries or religions. It's going to be a war between us versus them. You see, there's a lot of people in this world who do not believe in a God, but they want to be God. A minority of powerful and rich, sadistic motherfuckers, they outline agendas on a stone tablet like commandments, and they expect everyone to go along with these agendas. And anybody who doesn't go along with those agendas is considered sorry for being late. No problem, man. You're here, no, man. That's all. Come here, boy. That's all that matters. Anybody who goes against their agendas will be branded as a non-believer and an outsider. So there will be a war against us versus them. The people who orchestrate these agendas and the people who support these agendas against the people who fight against these agendas and who are against these agendas. You know, again, like I said this earlier, so that's just a brief kind of summary, really, of what this video is about, ProChronics, and it's great to have you here, man. You know, I'm transitioning from Green Herb Gaming to Johnny Talks, so I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening in the world that we all need to be aware of, that we all need to talk about, and we all need to listen to. So this minority of powerful, rich, and sadistic people, they've got many names. They've got many names. The most popular, trendy, cool name that they have, and by the way, it's deliberate because it's meant to make them look cool. One of the names is the Illuminati. Okay, that makes them sound so cool, so flashy, so edgy. You know, they've got many other names: the elite, the establishment, the Knights Templars, whatever you want to call them. But they are a handful, a minority of really powerful, rich and sadistic people who are actually controlling this world. And that is no longer a conspiracy theory, by the way. That is pretty much fact. And anybody who doesn't want to believe that, then you're the crazy ones. Let me just tell you that. Having no games. Thank you, ProChronics. This guy right here, ProChronicsVlogz, the soundest person you will ever meet in your whole entire life. Really appreciate that. Anyone watching, subscribe to ProChronicsVlogz. That's where the real fun is at. I'm like the Irish version of David Icke right now. You know, I mean, I can be boring and I can be depressing with these channels. If you want to see some serious fun, check out ProChronicsVlogz. ProChronicsVlogz won't depress you with these talks. He'll show you some real gaming. So subscribe to ProChronicsVlogz, whatever you do. So, whatever you want to call these people, these are the people who control the world. They control the governments, they control politics, they start wars, they control the entertainment business with their agendas. I really appreciate that. Really honest to God, man, really appreciate that, man. You're actually my biggest supporter, man, 100%. Thank you so much. But no, this is something new for me, the Johnny Talks. So it's not the most fun series. It's very kind of like not political, like, but it's deep stuff, really. You know, deep stuff. So if you look at the world around you. Sorry, let me just go back to what I was saying first. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So it's us versus them. It's these minority of powerful, rich, sadistic people who actually control the world, pushing their agendas on everyone in the world, and anyone who goes against these agendas, speaks out against these agendas, fights against these agendas, will be branded as a non-believer and an outsider. And it's so ironic, isn't it? Because it's very godlike, isn't it? To have the best idea. Cool, man. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. I'm all ears. I'm all ears, man. So that was pretty much a recap, buddy, of what I was trying to say. Because it really is us versus them. YouTube video together. That would be cool. I would like to do that someday, actually. I always wanted to actually do that. Have like a YouTube video where like two people come together. That would be interesting, man. I like that. Bringing together Green Herb Gaming and ProChronicsVlogz. Or well, Johnny Talks, as it is right now. And ProChronicsVlogz. I like that, man. I don't know if you have any like ideas of the opinions of the world around you, man. I'd love to hear about them. I would love to hear about them. So, okay, so yes, there is a war coming. There is a war coming, and it's unlike any other war you've ever seen or experienced or heard about. It's not a war between nations or religions. It's a war between us versus them. The biggest irony in this world right now is there's a lot of people out there who do not believe in a God, including a minority of powerful, rich and sadistic people. And the irony is these people want to be God, and they outline their agendas on the stone tablet, like the 10 Commandments, and anybody who goes against these agendas is considered no problem, man. Be back later. So you're okay, man. I appreciate you here, and I love the fact that you've transitioned from Green Herb Gaming to Johnny Talks. That really means a lot, man. That really means a lot, because it's not easy to transitioning. Like, I know there's a lot of my subscribers want to see gameplay. They want to see me play games, and it was very tough to make this transition, but I really felt in my heart, in my soul, this is what I needed to do. This is my calling, so to speak. I really feel like I need to do this. So really, really, absolutely delighted to see that you were here, man. And I'll see you later, buddy. Gaming YT, hello to you. There's going to be a lot of recapping going on here, but I really have to recap every time I get a new viewer. So this is episode 4 of Johnny Talks. The title of this video is Us versus Them. ProChronicsVlogz, I love it. Smiley faces and the thumbs up. Man, I swear to God, actually means a lot. Like, I wasn't too sure if my regular subscribers, including you, were going to transition from Green Herb Gaming to Johnny Talks, but it just, man, it actually makes me so happy. It actually makes me so happy to see ProChronicsVlogz popping up on that side of the screen with smiley faces and thumbs up. Man, you've made me happy. I appreciate that, because you're my biggest supporter, you know. So I would have been really like, I wouldn't know what I would have done if my biggest supporter didn't transition from Green Herb Gaming to Johnny Talks. So it just means a lot. I just want to say thank you so much. And Gaming YT, hello to you. So yeah, episode 4 of Johnny Talks. The title of the video is Us versus Them. And what I'm basically talking about is an upcoming war. A war not between nations and religions, but between us versus them. In this world that we live in, a lot of people do not believe in God, but the irony is there's a handful of very powerful, rich and sadistic motherfuckers who want to be God, and they outline their agendas on a stone tablet, you know, like the 10 Commandments, and anybody who speaks out against these agendas, goes against these agendas, fights these agendas, is considered an unbeliever and an outsider. Thanks, best bud. Oh man, I really appreciate that, man. Oh man. One's on 1%. Oh man, 1% like this minority of people. How about that for that was a nice little what you call it, segue there, wasn't it? I love the support, man. Come here to me, you're one of my best buds too, man. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. My haters say, and you know who you are, haters. You know who you are, haters. Just like the 1% who control this world, your battery is on 1%. Just like the 1% of the motherfuckers who want to play God, and outline their agendas to the world, and we're all supposed to go along with those agendas. But anyone who doesn't go along with those agendas, anyone who doesn't go along with the 1%, is called a non-believer and an outsider. So now I think I should go back over these agendas again. So I firmly believe that there is something going on with the way that fuck them all. Me and you versus the world. Man, I love that, man. I love that. Exactly, man. Me and you versus the world, and fuck everyone else, man. And if they have the balls to say anything, they can say it to my face, man. But they never will, man. They never will. They never will, man. ProChronicsVlogz and Johnny Talks versus the world. Boom. Fucking love it, man. American Horror Story Season 9 right there. Fucking love it. Woo. Right. So I really feel I should go back over these agendas and what these agendas actually are. I think the fact that so many people hate Donald Trump, even within the entertainment industry, I think that is part of an agenda. I think that this group of people have many agendas for the world, and I feel like Donald Trump is against these agendas. His supporters are against these agendas, and I think that pisses these people off, which is why so many people hate Donald Trump. I believe that is an agenda. I also believe that abortion is part of an agenda. I believe it's part of a depopulation agenda. I believe that these people feel there's too many people living in the world, there's too much famine, there's too much war, and that they have to kill off a lot of people in the world. And I believe that abortion is part of that agenda. And I believe that not just gay marriage, but LGBTQ. I have nothing against gay people. I have all the respect in the world for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. You are who you are, and you love who you are at the end of the day. I am all for that. All for that. But I just think that you don't need to be part of a brand. You don't need to be part of a brand, the LGBTQ community, to be who you are, okay? And I just think that if you look at the LGBTQ community, it's completely in your face, it's completely over the top, it's completely insane. And I think that's part of an agenda as well. I don't know what that precise agenda is yet. I know a lot of other people would have their views and opinions about that, but I can't definitively explain what that is right now. I really don't know, but it's almost like being gay is a fashion trend now. It's almost like it's the cool thing to do now, to be gay. It's just bizarre, really, when you think about it. But the reality is, man, as ProChronicsVlogz Battery has pointed out, 1%, the people who are this minority are 1%. 1%, which means 99% of the world, right, can rise up. No, I'm not saying that 99% of the world are against abortion, are against gay marriage, are Trump supporters. By no means am I saying that, but I'm just saying that the size of these people are very small compared to the rest of the world, is what I'm basically saying. But my overall point is that there's a lot of Trump supporters, there's a lot of pro-life supporters, and there's a lot of people who feel like marriage is a sacred bond between a man and a woman. And all of these people are, right now as I speak, standing up, speaking out, and going against these agendas. And that there will be a war between us versus them. I mean, it's an ever-changing world. But, you know, one of the scariest things of all is it's their view or no view. It's their opinion or no opinion. Basically, it's the LGBTQ community or nothing at all. It's feminism or nothing at all. It's Trump haters or nothing at all. And that's pretty scary, because it means that a community of practicing religious people, or just people who feel like the sacred bond between a man and woman in marriage, those people are no longer, in essence, have a view anymore, which is scary. Or somebody who makes a political decision, a political choice, somebody who decides, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, they're muted, and they're attacked, and they're ridiculed. That is scary. That's absolutely scary. And somebody who values the life of an unborn child, the beginning of a life, the miracle of life, of a pregnancy, somebody who values that, again, is being shut up, is being muted, it's being, you can't have an opinion, it's my opinion matters, you don't have an opinion. That's scary. And that's the opposite to equality. It's inequality is what it is. I think I've really kind of said it all, really, but I really have to start working on quality of Johnny Talks. I repeat myself way too much. Way too much. So can I just summarize again? And I'm going to have to repeat myself, but I try to change the words a little bit so it doesn't sound boring. So this is not Green Hub Gaming, this is Johnny Talks. Johnny Talks is far more different to Green Hub Gaming. Green Hub Gaming, you would see me play as Melina, kicking ass in Mortal Kombat X. That's Green Hub Gaming. Johnny Talks is Johnny as a person talking about the world around him and the things that are happening in the world around him. I've just been really open about these things. So this is episode 4 of Johnny Talks, and I've been talking about an upcoming war, past wars, in that it's not America versus North Korea or Muslims versus Christians. It's a social war. It's almost like a civil war in essence, and it's between us versus them. You see, because there's a lot of people who just believe God doesn't exist, but then you have the 1%, the 1%ers of rich, powerful and sadistic individuals who actually control the world. They have final say in the world governments, politics, wars, and even a massive influence in show business. The irony is this 1% want to be God, but they don't believe in a God, but they want to be God. And they have created agendas, they've created a view for the world in their eyes, and they outlined, hello Music Man, welcome back. So I've got to recap this video again now, sorry about this. So Music Man, great to have you on episode 4 of Johnny Talks. In this video titled Us versus Them, I am discussing a war that is coming, and it won't be North Korea nuking America, or it won't be Muslims fighting Christians. It's going to be a civil war as such between us versus them. We live in a very atheist world where people do not want to believe in a God, but they want to be God. Specifically, the 1%ers, the minority of powerful and rich, sadistic people who have written out these agendas on a tablet like the 10 Commandments, outlining their agendas, their view for the world in their eyes. playing God in essence. And anybody who goes against these agendas, speaks out against these agendas, fights these agendas, will be branded as a non-believer, as an outsider. And that's already happening, because if you look at some of these agendas that the 1%ers, the minority, have introduced to the world, one of the agendas, well, let me just say this, right? These people have many agendas. And I feel the fact that Donald Trump has become president of the United States of America, and the amount of hate and ridicule and discrimination that this man and his supporters have received is part of that agenda. Because I believe that Donald Trump is 100% against the 1%ers agendas. I believe that his supporters are against the 1%ers agendas, and that is why he has gotten so much hate, especially in the entertainment industry. Because remember, these 1%ers control the entertainment industry, which is why you have so many celebrities speaking out against Donald Trump. So I believe Donald Trump is against these people's agendas, and that's why he gets so much hate. So that 9 times before, I know, yeah, you actually have. The other agenda that I believe these 1%ers are pushing for is depopulation, because these are not just rich and powerful and sadistic, they're also intelligent. I believe that they look at the world and they realise there's too many people living in the world, and they feel that the only way to fix that is by depopulation. And I feel that abortion is part of that depopulation process. So all these feminists and all these pro-choice people are not more than supporters of this agenda and orchestrators of this agenda, and they're using abortion as a way to depopulize the world. Now the third one, I don't know exactly what the purpose of this agenda actually is, and I know that completely discredits my view, but I'm not quite up there with David Icke quite yet, so just don't pull me on that one, okay? And it's kind of two things really. It's about the gay marriage, and please no music man, okay? Just be respectful now, whatever you say here, just be respectful, okay? Because I firmly believe that everybody in this world has the right to love who they want, and the way they want, and how they want, okay? I am not homophobic, I am nowhere near homophobic, okay? But there's two things I want to talk about here. Gay marriage and the LGBTQ community, or brand as I will now refer to. I just feel like, let's start with the LGBTQ community, okay? It's almost like it's become a fashion icon, a brand, a business as such. It's like Nike, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. It's just this brand now, and it's almost like being gay or lesbian or bisexual. It's almost like the fashion trend now, the latest trend. You have to be gay to be cool now. It's almost like somebody's sexuality has went from something you're born with to something you choose, like a flashy dress or a flashy jacket. And I just think that's absolutely hilarious, because any scientist, doctor, science will tell you that you don't choose your sexuality. It is not a preference. It is not a preference. Your sexuality is not a preference. So I think the LGBTQ community is a bit strange, and it's almost like they're selling you a sexuality for each day of the week. And I think that the 1%ers are pushing some sort of an agenda relating to that for whatever purpose. I don't quite know why yet. And with gay marriage is, I don't know, maybe gay marriage is part of that, I don't really know. But I do know that there are people, which I'll get to know in a second, okay? So these are the agendas, okay? These are the agendas, and there are people who are orchestrating these agendas, and there are people who are supporting these agendas. But there are also people who are against these agendas, who fight against these agendas because it's not what they believe in. There are a lot of my YouTube playing up, as per usual, not what's new in life. I believe there's a lot of Donald Trump supporters out there in the world, a lot of them, and they're already speaking up and they're supporting Donald Trump, and that's not going to change. And there are also a lot of pro-life supporters out there who are completely against abortion, and there are also people out there who value their definition of marriage. Again, it's their definition of marriage. They value the sacred bond between a man and a woman. Now, those could be people of faith. There could be just people who just really value the sacred bond of marriage between man and woman, and they are against gay marriage. The thing is, all those people, Trump supporters, pro-life, and people who value marriage, are all discriminated against. They're all being muted. But the thing is, there's a lot of people out there who are rising up, and they're not going to be muted, and they're not going to stay quiet, and they're not going to just have it like, they're not just going to say, okay, well, it's their way against my way. It's going to be us versus them. It's going to be a war, a civil war, and it's not going to be nice. Like, it's not. No war is nice. No civil war is nice. No war whatsoever that has ever been fought in this country has been nice. But every war has led to something. Okay, every war has led to something, and this war, I think, will lead to really a rebellion of such. Because you can't have a world where a 1%, gets the final say, because there's 99% more people who don't have the same control that they do. Okay? So, that is a war that I believe is coming. Even my own dad, Music Man, feels that war is coming. I think a lot of other people would agree that war is coming. In Johnny Talks, I'm trying to be me as possible. I could make videos about the Illuminati, and I could talk about reptilian lizards, and I could talk about, the Queen is drinking the blood of the innocent, and I could rip off my shirt and run down Pastor Street and be the Irish version of fucking Alex Jones. But I'm Johnny. I'm not those people. I just want to be different in what I'm talking about. I want to bring a bit of I just want to bring a bit of logic into what I'm saying. Okay, because I think David Icke has accepted who he is. He's outspoken, he'll say those things. I think Alex Jones has pretty much accepted who the fuck he is. But you can't just go around and say, some things that they say, you have to bring a bit of logic into it. You have to bring a bit of logic into it. It's like if I had a conversation right here, right now, about UFOs and aliens. And if I said, I believe in UFOs, I believe in aliens. I believe that the royal family are controlled by aliens. I believe that Donald Trump himself is an alien. I believe this. If I do that, I've lost the support of 90% of people who are watching. Probably 99% of people. But if I said this, let's look at it from a logical point of view. Let's look at alien life from this point of view. We live on one planet of many, in many galaxies in a vast universe. I believe that we are not the only intelligent life form in the entire universe. If I started my conversation like that, it's logical, it's rational. In fact, the late great Stephen Hawking himself shares that view. But you can't really go too much into, stuff like, oh, they're already here, man, and they're controlling the government, man, and you can't really go there. You just have to start small, and eventually make your way, into a debate, not a debate, but into a deep opinion. And I feel that's what I want to achieve with Johnny Talks, is I don't want to dive into the deep end and drown. I want to get my feet wet a little bit and just say to myself, do you know what, I just said that people are against gay marriage, but it didn't feel too bad. Because people are against gay marriage, because full view of what they feel that marriage is. That doesn't feel too bad. But if I said, those damn gays are taking over the world, if I said that, where's that going to get me? I'm going to drown in the deep end. So I have to be different in how I raise these opinions and views and stuff. Okay? So that's going to be my blueprint going forward with Johnny Talks. Try to bring a bit of logic into it. I think everybody will agree. Everybody in this day and age will agree that the world isn't as it seems. Like the government are not the ones making the decisions. Anybody will tell you that, because the European Union have so much control nowadays in Ireland. The UN have so much control when it comes to wars. We know about all these corrupt bankers, the Dennis O'Briens of the world. We all know about these people. We know about the Rothschilds, the big, massive rich family who more or less have been controlling the banks. We know about these people. We know that these people have had massive influences into a lot of political going-ons. We know about this. We know about the 1%. We know about the elite. We know about the establishment. It's not a conspiracy theory. We know this. We know these are the people who are really controlling things. We know about that. So when I say that, I don't sound crazy. I'm not David Icke saying that they're reptilian entities or anything like that. You know what I mean? All you're saying has been with well, not necessarily, no. If I was saying what's in the Bible, I'd be saying that Jesus Christ himself is going to come down from the skies and judge us all and stuff like that. I'm not, hey, don't bring religion into this, whatever you do. Do not bring religion into this, okay? Fuck's sake, man. I don't want to end up becoming the next fucking, what's his name? Got his name, doesn't matter. Charles Manson. You know, Jesus Christ, don't bring religion into this. Whatever you do, just do not bring religion into this. It's not about religion, okay? This war has, as I pointed out at the start, has nothing to do with religion. It's not against religions. It's not against nations. It's against us versus them. It's against the people who want to play God. I don't know. Maybe you want to look at that as the Antichrist. Maybe that is the Antichrist. I don't know. I'm not a religious person. I'm not going to bring religion into this. Okay. No. So lost my concentration now because of that. Damn it. So oh yeah, like I can't just go around saying those things. So everyone knows about the 1%, okay? Everyone knows about these people, okay? They go by many names, but we all know about the 1%. And I think when you start looking deeper, like I know I said they have agendas, and I've spoken about those agendas, but if you really look at the world, like when I spoke about depopulation, what are you always hearing about? You're hearing about famine, you're hearing about war, disease, you're hearing about global warming, you're hearing about a world that is destroying itself. So I firmly believe that it makes sense if you think about it, that there's these real, like, elite people, right, intelligent people, but the same kind of sadistic people, powerful people, rich people. I really do feel like they would look at the world and say, we need to depopulate this world in order to save it. And I really feel that is the case. And I really feel like that they've used abortion as part of that agenda. Now, again, I can't, I mean, Donald Trump, look at the way he's talks. I firmly believe, okay, that Donald Trump is 100% opposed to the 1%ers' agendas, and that is why he is hated so much, and that's why his supporters are hated so much, and that's why you have all these celebrities coming out there as well, because these 1%ers use the entertainment industry to promote their agendas through movies and through music. And like why is it then that you have all these someone knocked on my door there. 2 seconds. That's the crack. 2 seconds, alright? 2 seconds. No, I'm just going to end it. Right, so there is a war coming between us versus them. It's going to be the orchestrators of these agendas the people who support these agendas and the people who are against and fight against these agendas. I pretty much said all I needed to say. Thanks for watching episode 4 of Johnny Talks. Thank you and goodbye.